Good afternoon, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gathered here to discuss how to implement this report. That's the Vivek Debroy Committee report. It's on restructuring of the organization, and I had sent everybody of you a copy.
Yeah, we have gone to it, and you see, besides other things, they are emphasizing a change in the way we work.
And for any such change, they imply change in organization's fundamental ways of working.
Don't you call that change in the prevailing climate in the organization?
Yes and no. We span the geography of the country. We employ over 1.4 million of people and in over hundreds of sub-organizations. We don't have just one way of working. After all, what is that which is required to be changed?
I agree, but what are the different ways of doing these? Do you have it all mapped?
You are right. Despite being 150 years old, there are lack of studies on our softer ways of working. Honestly, none of us has ever tried to map it, let alone changing it.
So they are advocating us to change something that we don't even know about.
Now look here, see, we are a very old organization, we are a very large organization, and we are a government organization. So there are not many things that we can change. We have to follow rules, policies, procedures, regulations and so on. A little bit of things here and there is possible, but don't expect anything spectacular.
So what we know from this discussion about this report is that this report wants us to change something. But what? Exactly what? Is it our ways of working, our sub-organizations, or our culture? What is it that this report expects us to change? About the content and the process of change. I do not think that any of us has any good insights about this. What I think, in my opinion, we'll have to call a management guru to address our problem to help us out from this situation.
These guys need an understanding of their organizational climate. That is, the mutually agreed internal environment description of an organization's practice and procedures. Incidentally, our study focuses on the organizational climate of Indian Railways. I feel that our study would help them in addressing the problem at hand. We have used the competing values framework to map Indian Railways climate using the OCM measure. Let me talk about the measurement model and the structural model here. In our measurement model, derived from the competing values framework, we find good confirmatory results as evident from the Cronbach alphas, average variance extracted, and composite reliabilities. These also fit very well with the theoretical competing values framework down below. In this uncertain world of climate and culture dispute, climate being viewed as an organizational or a psychological construct, and the facet level organizational level climates like safety, justice, ethical climate, procedural climate, we validate the OCM measure in this new context of Indian Railways. Moving to the structural model, we first explored the extent of consistency in the climate aspects across the organization. Grouping by the 16 railway units, we find that the climate aspects vary significantly in 5 out of the 17 aspects. While railway units significantly differ in terms of autonomy, formalization, goal clarity, etc., they are very similar in respect to integration, efficiency, effort, perceptions of Indian Railways. That is, the Indian Railway units have their unique identities in more than one way. Secondly, we tested the structural model and we ran a hierarchical regression model for that to explore the antecedents of the variations behind these climatic measures. And we found them to be lying at the individual and the sub-organizational level characteristics. The individual characteristics being core or support services, the number of years of experience, and the organizational level aspects being old or new units, age, industrial or individual customers, or profit or cost centers. We tested the following equation. As on today, this is where our research stands. Maybe we have something to tell these guys about. Hi, good afternoon everyone. I've been researching Indian Railways for quite some time, and our research has some hard quantitative evidence to provide that you have 16 railway zones and each of them have very different ways of working. Our structural model shows that the climate constructs like autonomy and formalization vary significantly across the different organizational units, and they not only vary across the sub-units but also by the organizational tenure and the nature of service of the employees there. You actually need varied levels of organizational intervention to implement a report like the Debroy Committee report. As we see it, it has been a single carrot and a single stick policy that you adopted so far, and as a result, none of your older reports have got implemented. The unique perspectives of the different people in the organization has to be looked at. We recommend you try it again. But this time, understand that the organization has a large number of small subclimates which have to be taken care of.